Wants to show how sometimes difficult things that we go through, sometimes bad things happen to us, or sometimes things that don't look like they can ever be anything beautiful or great end up being something incredible or almost magical. And it's really the power of God. Does anybody know what this stuff is? I'm going to take it, pass it down, look at it. You know what that is inside of there? No? You know what that is? Very close. It looks like salt. It's sand, right? And sand is at the beach. So sand, what we have learned from sand is that sand kind of gets dirty. You ever been to the beach? And it gets all over you. You go in the water and then you sit in the sand. It's all over you and it sticks on you for days. And then even after a week after being home from the beach, you're finding your bed and your clothes and places that you haven't even been to yet. You know? It's so dirty. You go in the water and the sand comes off, yeah. And then you go back out in the sand and it gets all over you again. So what happens is that, you know what this is?
Sand shell.
Very close. This is what seashells come from. It's an oyster, right? An oyster, and we can eat oysters, right? It's seafood. But oyster, a cool thing about an oyster is that oysters live at the bottom of the ocean. And an oyster, every once in a while, sand gets into an oyster's mouth. And it's very uncomfortable. It's very painful for the oyster. The oyster can feel pain. And it's constantly, and it's just sticking there. So what the oyster does is the oyster wants to make the best out of what he's been given. This very long, elongated period of pain, and sooner or later, that little grain of sand becomes that. Something like this turns into something like that. Who knows what that is? So it looks like a ball or an egg. That's a pearl. That's a pearl. And a pearl is really shiny. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's very beautiful. Yeah, and people find it at the bottom of the ocean. Sometimes when they take an oyster and they open its mouth, the pearl is sitting right beside the oyster. And so the oyster is able to turn. You need snorkels to find the oysters. I'm so glad you guys are telling me this. I was just going to jump into the water looking for oysters and hoping I could just do it on my own. Now I know I need, goggles and a snorkel, right? And stay with
At the beach, there's no shark.
So what God is telling us is that we can take something as comfortable, and sometimes we go through pain, and sometimes we go through hard times in life. And it's our job, if we keep faith in God, and we keep on looking towards the positives that are going to come in our lives, we can turn bad situations into something truly beautiful. Like an oyster turns a grain of sand into a pearl. Same thing with this. Who knows what this is? A rock. What kind of rock? Black rock. Coal. Coal. I don't know if you've ever heard of coal. You use it sometimes to burn fires, cook out. Yeah. See? Cool. What would you say if I told you that sooner or later, if over time, with a lot of pressure and a lot of hard pressure, a piece of coal could turn into that?
Diamond.
And that's a diamond, yeah. Again, God shows us His power and His grace through everyday things. Things that shouldn't be able to happen. Things that shouldn't be able to be possible. Something that's black and dark as this can turn into something clear and shiny and beautiful as this.
Diamond.
Something that is rough and dirty as this can turn into something beautiful like this. So we have to remember every day that even though sometimes we go through hard times, we go through tough times, that God is always going to take care of us, and He's going to make bad situations end up becoming something truly beautiful.